Oh no.
Okay, we're live. Um, Hello, anybody who may or may not watch this. So today is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be talking about just in general what games we've been playing this month. Um, what games are we going to be talking about, Nick?
Yeah. Uh, since we start off with me, I'll just start. One of the games that I've been playing is Kingdom Come. It's a pretty recent game that's been out for like a couple weeks. Has anyone else heard of it?
Yeah,
I've
that
heard
game
of
was
it.
really interesting.
Yeah, so it's like a really realistic history game, pretty much set back in the medieval times. And you're in the Czech Republic, I think. I'm probably getting these facts wrong. Who knows? I'm pretty sure you're somewhere in the Czech area. But in this game they had like their own historian who's like read all these facts and like then they try to make this game as realistic as possible from back then. And you play as this son of a blacksmith. And pretty much right from the get-go, like these bandits or like this army pretty much invades and like destroys your little village instantly, and you manage to escape. And from there on, it's like this open world game that you play, and you just basically level up all sorts of skills. It's very hardcore RPG, and you become slowly like a knight and trying to rise up and fight for other nobles and such.
How much time do you have in the game so far?
I'll check on Steam. I haven't been playing it recently, but I've got 23 hours into it.
Okay.
And that's a good question because there's so much build up to the game that I think the first time I actually killed someone was about 6 hours into the game.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's a lot of story and everything's really good. I think the voice acting is excellent. And yeah, the first time you fight someone is just a random corpse looter. So not even a dude who like knows combat or anything. And when I fought him, holy shit, it was hard. The combat is pretty much directional. You got like these, it's like a star system. There's like up, left diagonal, right diagonal, and like bottom, left diagonal, and right diagonal. You have to block that way too. That sort of system. Battle games are similar with it. And yeah, it just when you fight like completely inexperienced people, it's pretty easy, but your guy also sucks hard too. Like he's really slow and very sloppy. But the more you like practice, and you have to practice with like various weapons, like sword is completely different than an axe or like an halberd. And the better you get at it, the faster you get at it, and you can learn techniques and combos. So also like sort of becomes like a fighter game. So you could do like left, top, underneath, and you'll do some crazy combo that can get them.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. It's also games. Their save system in the beginning was insane. That got so much backlash, actually.
Really?
Yeah, because the only way you could save is at very certain key points in the main quest line, or you have to buy these drinks called like savory schnapps, and those were expensive. It is hard to get money in the beginning, and like the drinks cost like over 100 gold, and I'd be lucky to even have 10 pieces of gold. So it got so much back. Save combat.
What was that last thing you're breaking up?
So, what's the last thing you heard?
It was right after you talked about how expensive
the save drinks. and
Oh yeah,
not having a lot of money.
yeah. So didn't have a lot of money. So then they added a system where you can save when you're out of combat, and also when you quit the game. But people, hardcore people, hated it because they're like, "Oh, you'll just save scum at every single moment of the entire game." All that sorts of shit. Like if you saved during Skyrim, like a quick save, and then decided to slaughter a whole town or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, fuck you guys. Like, let me play the game how I want to. Like, I can't. Like, at times I had to spend 3 hours in the whole game just to find a save point. Because I didn't have the schnapps because I couldn't afford them.
So if you didn't have in the previous version, if you didn't have schnapps, could you not exit the game without losing your progress?
You lose your progress.
That is idiotic. Because if you can only play for 20 minutes and you can't save, that's just dumb.
Yeah. So the hardcore gamers just like wanted to keep people out at. Yeah, we'll give it to you. So I'm playing because now I can like play an hour or two here and there without worrying.
Yeah, that would definitely make like if it was still like the old system, I don't think I would like playing that game. But otherwise, I've looked into that game a little bit, and it looks really fun. I put it on my wish list because I watched like all the gameplay videos that were on the Steam page, and I looked up a little more, and it looks like a game I would like, but I just don't have the time for it right now.
Yeah, it's definitely a game that will sink your hours completely. And they have a really expansive like RPG system where you level up almost like everything. Like you can level up your drinking, and you can be better while drunk and shit.
That's funny.
It's hilarious. So yeah, I recommend people like the more RPG fantasy type games. It feels a lot better after playing so many games that keep dumbing down their systems and just making it player friendly for like everyone.
Destiny 2.
So yeah, that's
Destiny 2.
that's my little spiel about that. One of
Any
my
other
favorite.
games you played? Or no, if you continue
Oh.
first.
I just want to say this one thing. One of my favorite things is the archery in the game. Super cool. Like when you first do it, you're so unsteady and it's like hard to pull back the bow, and there's no reticles at all. So you just have to like practice on like these targets, so you can really get a feel of like where it is, and like you release an arrow and where that arrow will land compared to your hand on like certain distances. It feels like real archery, pretty much.
That's cool.
And then the better you get at it, the more steady your hand becomes, and the faster you can like start throwing out arrows. But yeah,
It's not like Skyrim arrows where it's just like always the same, and then eventually you're just a motherfucking crazy sneaking person. That's
it's difficult. But instead of discussing the other games I played, I'll let some other people talk before then. Just kind of rotate it through.
Alright, I can go next. I only played like 1 or 2 games really. I've been playing XCOM 2 right now. Mostly that's what I've been playing. I haven't had a ton of time the last week. It's just been busy with midterm stuff. But XCOM 2, I don't know how many people have played XCOM 2 or XCOM 1.
I played both.
I hadn't. I've wanted to, but I haven't.
I played both.
Like I really like the game so far. I have like 67 hours on it now. And the funny thing is I've owned this game for 2.5 years, basically almost since launch. But I only just started playing it for the first time like 2 months ago, and it had nothing to do with that I didn't think the game would be good because I loved the first XCOM and I put a few hundred hours in the first XCOM. But I just needed a break before I get into this one. But this one, I honestly can't wait to take a break and come back to it again and buy the DLC that just came out, because the DLC looks really good, but I don't have money for it right now.
It is really good.
But overall, it's like a super fun game.
What modes have you been playing?
I'm just playing on veteran, my first run through. I've still haven't finished my first run through, so
Just the regular.
yep.
They would
But
call it
I'm
command.
getting close to the end, I'm pretty sure. And so when I get to the end, I'm gonna start over and do an Iron Man run, because I really like doing Iron Man runs.
That reminds me, Nate. I still owe you a Sunday for completing Iron Man.
Yup.
What
How many-
difficulty did you complete it on? Did you actually do it on the hard difficulty?
No, veteran. I didn't do that. I'm working my way up now. I'm playing on the second hardest now.
Yeah,
Okay.
how many tries did it take you?
16.
Oh man.
But that's because I was struggling. I thought it was similar to the first one, but no, it's a lot different.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are very different, because I know my first playthrough, even not on veteran, I actually started over after like 20 hours, because I got to a point where I was like, well, either I continue the game with a large risk of me losing, or I start over now and start fresh. So I just started over because I didn't want to have a risk of failing and just wasting like another 10 hours in that run.
Yeah.
But overall, it's fun. There's some changes I don't think I like as much, but maybe it's just that I haven't played the game enough versus the last game.
It's always looked interesting to me, but I've never been a big fan of turn-based games.
It's so much fun.
It's hard.
I think more games. There needs to be more games like this. Like I love the turn-based strategy style of XCOM 2 and XCOM 1.
Yeah. The only thing I can remember really liking about the second game, well, I like a lot about it. I like the changes they've made with the classes and how you go about learning psionics and stuff. Have you gotten into the psionics?
Yeah, I haven't tried all the new abilities, but the psionic abilities in this game are so much better than they were in the first game. Like, I love that you can mind control the enemy, and like, there's so many great psionic abilities that are just really fun to use. And I like how you have control over how you develop your units. So you can pick like where you want a certain unit to go with psionics. So you can build a bunch of different psionic units that have different build styles.
Yeah. And I like the character creator. I think it's a lot better in the second game.
Oh yeah, the character creator is a lot better. I like that you can do the character pool, so you can like customize a bunch of characters and then they'll show up in your game. Because I made like all of you guys, and
Oh yeah, I remember that. You said that. I'm like,
and then all of you will eventually either you've already dead or you're in the game now. I just lost my sister like an hour ago. She's dead.
Rip.
She's been in the game since the beginning and she's dead.
how dare you? Who have
funny
you
that-
lost of us?
I lost Marcus the day after. No, I lost Marcus my second match. And, like I started, I created Marcus. Like I first mission I went on, then before the second mission I created a ton of characters. On the second mission, Marcus came with and died, and so Marcus went on one mission.
Oh no.
Zach is still in there. I don't think I made Nate. I need to make Nate.
Marcus,
Sad.
never go to war.
Yeah, die in
I
the
feel
first.
like it's an omen.
There's a lot of people I still need to go back and make, because I just sitting down to customize characters just takes a long time, and I just haven't been in the mood recently. I just wanted to play the game instead of customizing characters.
Wait, do you actually like make them look like us too?
Yeah, I always make them
That's
look.
more fucked up. What the shit?
You have to make them look, and like you're never gonna
I thought you
actually
just-
look
I
like the
thought you
person,
just
but you have to make them look relatively close. Like they gotta be the names. They gotta look relatively the same. They gotta dress similar to the way that person dresses. Like there's that person. Like and then I feel very committed to the characters. Like I need to protect you guys because
Mitch, why haven't you taken screenshots and posted them in chat yet?
I don't know, man.
I would love this. I would love it so much.
You need to have the characters do tactical things that we would do, so we just all always die.
None of us are combat trained. We probably wouldn't do anything like
We just bum rush them.
I have to play each of you just like you would play. I'm gonna lose all of you after like 2 games. I realize I haven't made myself. Should I make myself in the game?
No, because you're the leader.
Yeah, I'm the commander.
You're
I wouldn't make
commanding.
myself.
You want? You want?
Yeah, that's what I've been playing. A lot of the only other thing I played, I've played Ultimate Chicken Horse a few times last week, which that's always fun. And then me, Carly, Zach, and Luke all got Deep Rock Galactic. So I've only got like 9 hours on it. But when we did play it, it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
What is that?
It's still early access, but it's a game where you are dwarven miners, like space miners, and you get launched. You get to pick different missions, and you get drill into cores of planets. And there's a bunch of different biomes, and you go searching for different materials depending on the missions.
Okay.
You can like
tell me
dig
about this
through
history.
the ground and stuff, and like you fight enemies, and there's like waves of. I don't remember what they're called. The enemies.
It's pretty much like Left 4 Dead, but different scenario and shit, right? Sort of.
Not really.
Not
Like
even?
I
Okay.
guess it kind of like it has some aspects that are similar to that. But it's a lot of fun. It's early access though, and I like the 9 hours I've played. Like I definitely can put a lot more time into it, but you can still kind of feel the early access a bit. But you can also see that since we bought it, there's already 2 updates, maybe more now. I haven't been paying attention, but the 2 updates that came out that added new things that were really cool.
I'm looking at the images. I like their low polygon art.
Yeah, their art is really cool. I love how the dwarves look, and like the classes are really fun. There's 4 different classes. There's the miner or driller. Is that what he's called?
Yeah, there's the driller, there's the scout, there's the
Gunner.
gunner,
And
and
the engineer.
yeah, the engineer.
And the driller can he's got like drills on his hands, so he can actually like drill through walls very quickly. So he can like build his own tunnels. And he's a flamethrower. The scout has a grappling hook, so they can like traverse around the area really quickly. And they have a double-barreled shotgun and an assault rifle. And then the gunner has a chain gun, and he's got these wires he can shoot, and then they create like a cable that you can like go back and forth across.
Ziplining.
Yeah, like a zip line kind of thing, and you can go up and down them. And then the last guy is the engineer, and the engineer can place turrets. I've actually never played the engineer, so I don't know what his guns are.
No, they're pretty interesting. I played it a little bit. You pretty much plop down the turrets, and then you like periodically fill them up with ammo when they need to get filled up.
Yeah, it's a really fun game though.
You can buy upgrades with the stuff you collect.
Yeah, so every class like has a ranking system. Like you level up the class, and then you can spend resources to level up perks in the class. And then depending on your level, depends on what missions you can go on and stuff like that. It kind of has a slight Destiny vibe, in that like there's like all these missions you can go on, and there's like always things to do, and you're always working to progress your character, and like
Okay, it sounds a bit more like actually Vermintide.
Vermintide. That sounds familiar, but I don't know what that is.
Warhammer. Vermintide. It's pretty much like Left 4 Dead, but there's a bunch of missions that you can go on and levels that you choose, and like there's a hub world, and you progress. Like you can grab get more items and whatnot to increase your character, and you can like level up your character and whatnot.
Oh, interesting. One thing that's different is that Deep Rock is that all the levels are procedurally generated.
Oh, okay.
Every time
That's
you go
pretty
into,
cool.
because it's all underground cave systems.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. If you're gonna
so-
grind, you may as well grind in something.
So every
new.
time you're going into a new cave, it's always different, and the
That
caves are
actually sounds really cool now.
the caves have a lot of interesting layouts. And then every biome is different. There's like 5 biomes, so they all have kind of different looks and like different kind of terrain generation underground, and then each one has different resources you can get, and then because you need different resources for different perks, you might want to continue to go to one biome because that biome has more likely chance to get a certain resource.
Okay, so you can like choose a biome that you like want to go to. It's not.
Yeah,
you
so
just
there's like
don't know.
there's like 5 biomes but like 8 areas, I think, or something like that. But you can only, and then the missions reset every hour. So only certain areas are unlocked, and then you can do those missions during the hour, and then after the next hour it'll reset and then new areas will be unlocked. So it's kind of like based, like it's kind of like supposed to be like, oh, these areas like aren't accessible right now because of time of day or something like that. But it also then changes up where you can go, so it's not always the same. Like it locks you out of certain areas sometimes and unlocks other areas other times.
All right.
But like it's a game that is super fun, and I really hope it takes off because I think if it gets a big enough population and the devs keep pumping in more stuff, like this could be a really good game. Like it already is a really good game, but like it could get even better with more content updates.
Yeah. After
definitely.
you saying procedurally generated, that perked my interest even more. So
And like because it's a cave system, they're not like bad. It's not like they're procedurally generating like the surface of a planet and like you have to put trees and forests everywhere. Like you're procedural generating caves, so it's much more
tunnels
easy.
and whatnot.
It's more note like it doesn't isn't obvious that it's procedural generated. Like it just
Yeah.
feels like you're in a cave.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I think I plan on actually getting that because Zach was telling me about it last night. I plan on building a new computer pretty soon, so I can
Yeah.
have a bigger fucking hard drive instead of my shitty small solid state that I can only put a couple games on.
Oh, I wish I could get a new solid state, but that's too expensive. But I'm actually probably gonna get a new CPU soon, which that means I need to get a new motherboard, which means I'm gonna spend like $1,000. But I'm probably gonna get. This is kind of off topic, but it's still gaming. But I'm looking at getting the Ryzen Threadripper because I want a lot of cores because I do a lot of rendering now for my graduate school and like lots of 3D art, and so I'm thinking of going that route, either the Ryzen or looking into the Xenons.
I don't even know those.
Ryzen
CPUs?
Threadripper are the new. It's the new like multi-core. It's like there's a 16 core. I have it open. Let me look. I got this.
Are they like on equivalent of like Intel i7s and?
No, this is something different. Like they do Ryzen's AMD Ryzen does have something that's equivalent to like the i7 and i9s and stuff, but the Threadrippers are different architecture.
Okay.
They're more core, so you can get a 16 core, 12 core, 8 core, but they're meant for like heavy workloads. Like
Yeah,
it
more,
works.
much more rendering and modeling.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
works well for games too.
Yeah.
But that's not what it's. It's like more for like workhorse kind of stuff, like less gaming and more like working on Photoshop or 3D modeling, that kind of stuff, rendering, and that's what I need. So that's probably where I'm gonna go. But they're a lot more expensive.
Yeah, they are. All right. Let's go next. Zach.
Sure.
Sorry.
Was going to talk about Deep Rock Galactic. I could talk about.
You can talk more about Deep Rock Galactic.
We can go back to it later if we want.
That looks awesome. I'm definitely going to pick it up.
Yeah, it's a fun game. The only downside I think there is like the only problem I've had with it so far is based on the game mode that you do, the difficulty can vary wildly. Like
Yeah, that's very true.
and based on the environment that you do, like if you're doing like level 2 difficulty, there's 3 levels, easy, medium, and hard. That can vary pretty hard depending on the environment you do. One environment might be pretty easy on the second difficulty, and one environment might be like really difficult on the second difficulty. And Also, we had a game that lasted for like an hour because we couldn't figure out how to do the fucking objective.
Yeah, that part was dumb. There's these eggs that we had to find, and it just said get eggs, and we're like, okay, we've never seen eggs. We'll just find them, right?
Yeah, the guy literally said,
Oh no, he disconnected.
Well, I'll continue. So we were looking for these eggs, and we found one, and it was like in the open. So then we assumed because we found one in the open that they'd all just be like in the open when we were looking through caves. And then we spent like an hour looking, and we couldn't find any. And like we went to the end of the procedurally generated cave system, so there was nothing else to go look for. So we all looked it up. We looked it up eventually and found out that there's these red glowing things that like pulse out of the walls, which means you're supposed to dig there because that's where the eggs spawn. But we had no idea. And like now that we know, it's a cool thing, but they didn't tell us, and so that part kind of was frustrating.
I think that's pretty good though. Like, it's like not hand holding and telling you where to go,
Yeah.
and it's making you learn it. And now, since you figure it out the first time, you'll figure out every time you get that mission or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was just sad that we wasted so much time on that mission. Because we did absolutely nothing for like 2 hours basically. Because we were like, dude, we didn't know what to do, and we thought we were just missing it.
yeah. The balancing feels really good. The weapons feel really powerful, but you run out of ammo really quick, so you need to be like constantly calling in supply drops and stuff. Yeah.
Ammo is
fun
definitely
game.
the biggest thing to worry about. It's like if you just abuse your ammo and you didn't actually mine the resource, you can call in more ammo. You can get really fucked.
And we always seem to split into two groups because that's a lot better for looking for stuff. But if you're really far away from each other, then like it's really hard to accurate like store your stuff well, because you need to store all the stuff you mine into this walking mine cart called Molly, and you can just call her over to you. But if you have two groups that are really far away from each other, she takes like forever to get to your group, so you waste a lot of time. But
I wonder if the developers will catch on to people doing tactics like that or something. And
it's not a good tactic on the higher difficulties, because then you just get fucked. But
Destroyed on really hard difficulties if you're not sticking together.
But it's pretty easy to do if you're on difficulty 2.
Honestly, I would think that they intend you to stick around Molly. So, if anything, I bet they'd make it so that monsters could destroy Molly really easily. So you'd want to actually stick around her.
They can't attack her.
Yeah, they can't actually do anything to her.
Oh,
or at least they don't go after her. Like, so the AI only attacks you.
It would suck if they did, because then every mission would be an escort mission.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I don't want that.
I take that back.
But other than that, I played Owlboy.
Oh, how's that?
It's a lot of fun.
It's one of the games we almost picked, I think.
Yeah. I
Owlboy.
played it for not that long, because I think I only played it for like 8 hours. It says 16 because I left it on overnight. But it's a lot of fun. It's a kind of a Metroidvania, but I don't know. I can't seem to not play it without comparing it to Hollow Knight, and I like Hollow Knight more.
Oh, I had the same when I played it. I was like, it was right after I finished Hollow Knight, I started playing Owlboy, and I was like, it's just like so close, but come on.
Yeah, it feels much more linear in a lot of spots than Hollow Knight. It's still a fun game. It's got its own unique mechanics and stuff. And the music for it is absolutely amazing, and the art is great. The story is great. I just think I prefer kind of the level design and the layout, and like just kind of the ability to go do whatever you want in Hollow Knight. But Oh boy, it's still a very solid game. Would definitely recommend.
So in the 8 hours, did you finish it, or are you still going with it?
No, I'm still going. I'm not sure how close I am to beating it.
It looks like I
Pretty
beat
long
it
game.
after 7 hours.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
But I think I got fed up and used a guide because there was one part that really was just driving me nuts. And once you do that once, it's like seal's broken. Fuck it.
I think I did that once, but wasn't too bad. I did have like one glitch at the start of the game, but it was fine after I restarted it, and it's been working okay. Pretty much the items that you pick up as you go along in the game are people. They're like companions that you're able to like carry and fly around, and they got different like abilities and stuff that
Is
let
that
you.
how you see people, Zach? Just items.
Yep. Life is a video game and nothing matters. No.
Gotta catch them all.
Yeah. I mean, you saw that Logan Paul video. Like that's completely accurate. You throw Pokeballs at Japanese people. That's what you do. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, oh boy, fun game. Like the music and the start of the game really made me think of Zelda. The music really reminded me of Wind Waker, and just the UI and everything about it just really reminded me of like an old school like 2D Zelda.
That's cool.
Yeah, I dig the style. I'm looking forward to finishing it.
Yeah, I
good
just found
game.
out that Carly has that game on Humble Bundle, so I actually downloaded it. I haven't played it at all, but I downloaded it 'cause it's something I think I want to play eventually.
Yeah, I've seen some people like play it, like streaming it. I really dig like the sort of world that they've created.
Yeah, it's a very
'Cause, like,
interesting world.
An owl boy, like, he's more like just a man-made owl, and there's all sorts of different characters in that world, and they have their own like society. I don't know, it's just really cool world building that they've done.
Yeah, they do a good job of it.
Yeah.
The art's really good. I think it took the main artist, well, the guy who made it, like 7 years to make it or something.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's about all I have for that.
Right.
Anybody else? Anything else?
Well, a
Nate
different
or
one.
Carly?
Well, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know, I've been playing Star Wars Battlefront 2.
How is it?
I mean, I enjoy it. I play it a lot. I don't know, it's got a Battlefield effect. EA
Didn't they
made
take
it.
out the microtransactions and stuff in it?
They took that away the first week. They fixed the whole however many hours to get Darth Vader right away too, and now they have no more random loot crates. You just get cash to buy only cosmetic things, and then you have to level up your stuff by playing the characters now. Pretty much they just switched it back to the usual old Battlefield style.
Oh, okay. I've heard that it's actually a pretty fun game. The shit that happened at the launch that no one's ever gonna play it because it rap attached to it.
No, yeah, it got a huge bad rap from the beta, but then here I wasn't looking into it that much because I was just like, I bet it's gonna be a good game, and then started playing it. I enjoy it. It's pretty much like a new Battlefield for me.
Yeah, I've heard that it's actually a good game. Just was crappy that they added on the whole progression system to it.
Yeah.
Well, from how much backlash they got from the first game, from how shit it was, I would
Did they
assume
get-
it would be much better.
The first game was relatively fun, but there just wasn't.
It
There was
just
no depth
wasn't a Battlefield, though.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest problem with Star Wars Battlefront is it's not Battlefront. It's just Battlefield.
Yeah, it
And-
felt like a patch for Battlefield to make it look like Star Wars.
And I think that's totally fine. Like I really like that, but they shouldn't have called it Battlefront. Personally,
Yeah.
it's a personal thing. I think if they wanted to call a game Battlefront, they should have made it more like Battlefront, like the originals.
The progression system also got to the point where they made it illegal in, like, was it the Netherlands or something? To say that, like,
Oh, you're talking about the loot box thing?
yeah, that it's gambling,
Uh,
so they like said they couldn't do it anymore. At
I
least
know
in that country.
Belgium was one of them, but I think
Oh,
there was
yeah,
another
Belgium.
place too.
Yeah, Belgium and one other, I can't remember. But that's for a lot of games.
Yeah,
Oh, I like the game a bunch.
I think it's one of
space
those
combat's actually
things
pretty
that I'll
cool,
pick
too.
up eventually. I heard the space combat was made by Criterion, so it has to be good because Criterion they used to make the Burnout games.
Oh, I played
And by
those.
the Burnout games were amazing. And then they got bought by EA and then stopped making Burnout and started making Need for Speed, and I hate Need for Speed.
Oh,
Ditto that.
interesting.
Burnout was fun because it was different. Need for Speed is just a boring racer.
100%
Oh, it's
agree.
not just. It's not like Forza,
I mean,
but it's
the
just
old
not
ones were pretty solid.
fun.
I haven't played it.
The reason Burnout was so good is because it had such good crashes, and there was like, it did. The crashing was so fucking good. Even in the first Burnout, the crashes were good, and it's just good. Like it just felt good to play it. And then I don't know. Not everyone liked Burnout Paradise, but I really liked Burnout Paradise.
I actually think I have that on my Xbox now.
The open world worked really well.
have you played Halo Online at all? Anybody played that?
I played it a
I-
bunch.
I've thought about getting it, but I've just been so busy. I have just haven't been playing anything. So
I played a bunch. I think it feels remarkably like playing with a 360 controller, even with mouse and keyboard, and that's kind of amazing to me.
Huh.
And that wasn't with the mouse filter on. They have the option for mouse filtering and like additional smoothing, but it has a little bit of that acceleration, like Half-Life 2 style acceleration.
Okay.
But something about it, like the weight is just right that you're like, I don't know. The raw gunplay was making me smile, and I was like, oh yeah, games can be fun. I forgot. 'Cause it was like I have fun when we win around or do something wacky in Siege, but like the raw gameplay doesn't make me happy. Like playing Halo Online, I'm just smiling the whole time, and it's like doesn't matter what I'm doing, I'm just having fun.
I really need to download it because I think I'd love it because like Halo 3 was like my life for like 5 years.
It's only like 3
And, like-
gigs, so it's quick. Totally worth downloading.
Is it still downloadable? Because like Microsoft told them they have to stop working on the mod.
They didn't tell them they had to take it down. They told them they have to stop additional work on it. And Microsoft, I believe, cease and desisted other places that were releasing the source code for it because the source code is what can't be spread. However, the actual game itself can be because you don't have access to the
Okay.
source code by playing the game, and that's the rationale. And also, since it's solely peer-to-peer, even though it has a browser and it has you can host and join matches. Since there's no matchmaking, there's no central servers, they can't really get rid of it because if 2 people have it, they can play it with each other.
Yeah.
So it's there, it's out.
I hope that
yeah.
in 343 we take this as a sign that people want like classic Halo back, like
They
that
won't,
kind of
though.
style.
Well,
No, they
they'll
won't.
misinterpret it. They'll try. They may try. Let me rephrase. They may try, but they'll make another.
Oh, everyone to go fuck themselves.
Oh, at best, they'll go Master Chief Collection released on the PC, and it'll be like, wow, I want the your gross updated art style that doesn't fit this gameplay at all, or this atmosphere. Like it doesn't fit with the game. At least personally, I don't think it fits with any of the games, like the updated ones. or the Halo 1 and 2 updated looks, I thought just looked weird. Like they didn't feel right. For the new games, I don't care because they're they have a different feel to begin with. So maybe the new style fits the new games well. It doesn't fit the old games, and that just killed it for me when I was trying to play that on Xbox. So I just played it in the old mode because it was like, eh. But yeah, if that happens, I don't know. Oh, it was really weird because right before Microsoft announced the thing, or right before Microsoft said, "Hey, stop working on it," I think it was 2 days, maybe 3 days beforehand. 343 was posting on Twitter about how awesome Halo Online was. The El Dorito one was. They're like, "Yeah, this is great. We've been playing it all weekend. We think it's awesome." And it's like, "Oh, cool. We have support from the devs." Oh, just kidding. Microsoft says, "Fuck you." Like, that was a good turnaround. But
Yeah, fans making something cool. Can't have that.
well, and quite frankly, like, it's the best it will ever be right now. And let me explain. It is exactly what it needs to be, and like what people have been discussing about this was online about this was that the ideal situation is that 343 buys them out and they make an actual version. The actual version would be shit because it'd be full of loot boxes or at least full of cosmetics, and it's like that's not what Halo is. Halo is everyone spawns with a gun and beats the shit out of each other and they enjoy it. And it's like
That's probably why they told them to stop production so they can fucking do that.
Well, no, the thing that's insane to me is that when Halo Online first came out, everyone was so excited about it, and then it just got shut down after the beta was out for a little bit.
oh
Like honestly, when the Halo Online was first out, I actually downloaded into the beta and played some of it when it was still on because it was fun. I wanted that to keep going.
did you hear
Fun, man.
did you hear how it was actually canceled though?
No, I did
I found it
not.
I found it really interesting, so I did some research on it. And what happened, at least if what I was reading was right, it was just in some random articles about it. It was saying that it was that the small team that was working on it, they had a deadline, and they needed an answer from Microsoft on a yes or no whether they should continue working on this project.
Hmm.
And Microsoft just let the day stop doing, and that's
Wait,
how it was
you just
canceled.
cut
It
out.
wasn't.
Wait, can you say that again? You cut
Sorry?
out.
I probably got too quiet for my mic. Where did I cut out?
Pretty much right when you just said the explanation. So we missed all the explanation.
Oh, cool. So pretty much, supposedly, the studio that was working on it had a deadline at which they needed an answer on whether or not to continue working on it from Microsoft, because they had another project that they would have to, like, they would need approval and then more funding to continue working on this. Otherwise, they'd work on some other project. There was some scenario like that, and Microsoft just let the date pass. They didn't even respond to them. Or that's
Oh,
supposedly what happened. Microsoft just was like, they didn't care enough about it, apparently.
that's dumb.
But that wasn't official from Microsoft or from people there. This was like the bunch of articles that were talking about this, and it was, someone cited saying they knew someone who explained the situation, and it was like, so I don't know what actually happened, but it's not impossible to Microsoft went, well, we don't really care.
The weird thing is, there's a lot of time put into a lot of stuff in there. Like, they remade a bunch of maps with brand new versions. Like, they remade some Halo 2 maps, and they remade some Halo 3 maps with, all brand new art. So it's not like they didn't do anything. It's not like it just brought it all together. They actually put a bunch of work into it.
Yeah.
To just drop it. It's weird. the whole thing.
Yeah. If I had to guess, they saw some change in the market, and it wasn't so much as they were canceling it. It was, we're gonna do a huge, like, a tectonic shift of what that game would be. Almost as far as making it a free to play. Like,
Well, that's what
I
it was
wouldn't
going to
be
be, I thought.
shocked. Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a free to play game. Like Halo Online was going to be a free to play Halo, which I honestly thought was cool because they I remember seeing some of the trailers, like breaking down all of the customizations and stuff you could buy for your guns, and it looked really cool.
That almost sounds like something Microsoft would never do, though. Because Microsoft.
I know, but it would have been a cool thing, I think.
Oh, okay. So I just had a thought. I bet. Okay, I bet when they eventually announce the online for, or whatever, was it Halo 6 is supposed to be on PC too?
Yeah,
Whatever.
Halo 6 is supposed to be on PC event whenever that's
Yeah.
coming out.
I bet they're gonna have Halo Online just be the multiplayer for the next Halo game, or for whichever one comes to PC. It'll just be that Halo Online, and it will be like, you can buy it with the game, or it'll be a standalone. Like, the multiplayer will be, quote unquote, Halo Online. Well, I don't know why I said quote unquote. It'll just be Halo Online. That would be a good move, especially with all the crazy press that they'd have to be getting over El Dorado. Although El Dorado is going to be better. I just know it. I don't think there's any ranking in Halo Online right now, though, because there's no
I
servers,
doubt it.
so there probably never will be on the free version.
I'm trying to get the download now, but I can't find this. You have to get the original version, and since I took that down, I can't find a version of that. Hey, can you send me yours?
Me?
Yeah. Do you still have your download files?
Yeah.
The installation?
Well, here's the thing. If they... Are you just following to the website link?
Yeah, it just goes to the updater, but you need the original source code stuff to actually update to download it.
Yeah, the update, I believe it's still on... What is it called? I'm blanking. I should know this. GitHub? The... Right now...
All right. Well, while you guys get that situated, should we move on?
Yeah.
All right. Carly.
I have just played the same games that everyone else has.
You're very quiet,
You mean-
Carly.
All of them?
Yeah, I played every single game that you guys have talked about.
Holy shit, you're on top of it.
I have cameras installed in people's homes to
Cool.
know when they're playing, and then I'll play what they're playing.
So
Nice.
that's what that was.
You haven't seen anything else, have you?
No.
Okay, good.
Mitch, here, I will send you the link.
Okay.
You know, I'll put it in the general for Thunderdome.
Carly, Will has camera set up at our place, so it should be really easy if you just use his.
Nice.
So yeah, it's the GitHub for 0.6.
Well, did you want to add to anything, Carly?
Not really.
Oh.
I've been working on rendering stuff. And
Okay,
listening to you
you're
guys.
just listening in.
Yeah.
Make it hard. Who does that?
Well, I'll go again then, I guess. I've been playing the new Kirby game on the Switch, Kirby All Stars. I beat that game. Super fun game. I think it's very easy though, but apparently it tends to be like all Kirby games. This is my first Kirby game, but a lot of people said like this apparently like the easiest one. If anybody like ever picks up their Switch, I definitely recommend playing the game through with a friend. even if it's just one friend, like you can play up to 4 people. But I think that's where you'll have the most enjoyment and fun out of it. I don't think I would have really enjoyed it if I was just doing it by myself. But the whole concept is pretty much like
I'm
you
back.
oh shit. Pretty much the whole concept is you make a bunch of friends, like you can throw hearts out to like these NPCs and pretty much put them on your team. And other players can play them, or you can like suck them up and take their power. And there's tons of them that you can play as. And they all are super unique and have their own special moves and stuff. And as you beat the game, you unlock a couple other modes, which are really cool. Like you can make a lot faster by picking up so stronger. So you can do like these speed runs of the game. Really, the whole game seems to be like a boss rush, but I enjoyed it a lot.
I
Mitch, I
played
know
the
you.
demo of it,
Oh yeah.
and it was fun. But I don't know. I read some reviews about it saying like it's not super great or something, or it's just like really short. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna spend a lot of money on a game that
It
I'm not
is.
getting a lot of time out of.
It is definitely a lot of money for how much you can get out of it. My friend and I almost beat it in one night. Like we ended it right before we pretty much got. I think we only had like 2 levels left.
Well,
But I also think that's after you beat the game, like that's when they unlock a bunch of extra stuff that you can play, which I think expands the replayability of it, which helps. But yeah, since it's Nintendo, that game won't be on sale for years. So yeah, it's still great fun.
How's the lore? I saw a bunch of stuff on Twitter about Kirby lore about around the time it came out.
I honestly don't know a whole lot about Kirby. Like I said, this was my first game. And pretty much the lore of this is like some people fuck, I don't know. Like these people wanted to like summon this like Dark Lord because like some catastrophic thing was happening throughout the universe or like the galaxy. And you had to fight it with friendship. Yeah, they were just reviving this Dark Lord. That's all I fucking know. There really wasn't a story, I'd say. So, yeah.
Interesting.
This is just a fun 2D platformer that you can just rush through.
Yeah. Really want to get a Switch. A lot of good games on it now.
Oh, dude, just wait till this E3. They just announced that the Super Smash Bros. Will be playable at E3.
I
Sweet.
heard that.
And potential Pokemon announcement as well there. So yeah, that'll be dope.
I can't imagine how painful Smash Bros would be with a one Joy-Con playing it. Oh my gosh.
Would be interesting.
if you have like 4 sets of Joy-Cons,
Ooh, 8 players.
no, like 4 people with 4 sets, can you hook them up so that like everyone has 2 Joy-Cons?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. If you have if you have a
Because
set,
if she had
you can- they
4
can behave.
pairs.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they just act as one controller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's when you sync them and if you press both bumpers at the same time, it counts as one controller instead of 2 separate ones.
Okay.
Yeah, I play
Or you
freehand
could-
with Legend of Zelda.
Or you could just buy the Pro controllers, which is just like similar to an Xbox controller ish.
Except they're like $70.
Yeah, well, many
Joy-Cons are
controllers are
expensive
like
too,
that.
aren't they?
Yeah, they're also overpriced.
Just like any controller. So
Fair enough.
Alright. Anyone else want to go next?
Sure. I played a bunch of games. I played Rayman 2 and Tonic Trouble, and this is Rayman 2: The Great Escape for the Nintendo 64. And it's like an action platformer, and yeah, it's a 3D platformer where you kind of shoot stuff, I guess. Like all of your attacks throw the little lums, the yellow ball things, and it's okay. I always had a bunch of problems with my N64 controllers, and apparently they're just so worn down I can't move at full speed. So most of the jumps of the game were impossible, like impossible with those controllers. I had to go get a new one, for real. But it's all right. It's worth a play, and it's by the way, it's also on GOG, and so is Tonic Trouble
Nice.
on PC. So that's pretty neat. Tonic Trouble is feels like the same game, and then it feels like a modded version of the same game. Like everything handles the same, but it's less action focused, and it's a lot more like exploring levels and figuring things out. And when there is fighting, it's like you hit an enemy once, or you punch something once and it breaks the wall down, and now you can go through there. And somewhere between just regular adventure game and 3D platformer, and I think it's fantastic. And it's also got a really weird themes, and I don't know what the message is supposed to be, but at the end someone basically says this all happened because we were bad to the environment, and I'm like, what? That's why like tomatoes came alive and started carrying pitchforks? Like, okay. Yeah, that's all I have to say about those. Anyone else with any more games?
What is Tonic Trouble more about though? I don't think of I know Rayman, so
So Tonic Trouble was also made by Ubisoft, and man, essentially you play as an alien, and you like have an energy drink that you lose, and it falls to planet Earth, and it's like super powerful or something, and just by contact it like turns everything alive. And then some random Viking guy, even though you're not in Viking time, some random Viking guy on Earth picks it up and drinks it and is like, oh, I'm gonna go make a super evil army now, and you have to go stop him. And even though this was a drink you had on your ship and you're drinking, or I guess it is a collectathon as well, the main thing you collect are fragments or portions of an antidote to this energy drink, or I don't know if it's supposed to be an energy drink, but like it's yours and you are drinking it, but you're getting the antidote to your own drink, and you need that to beat the game. And it's like so I don't know, but the game is vaguely about drugs. There's a boss that is literally a magic mushroom, and like he's a magician and he's a mushroom, and it's like, oh, I get it, okay. But it's all over the map with weird stuff. Oh, okay. It has product placement, and guess what brand it is? It's the most bizarre thing ever.
Coca-Cola.
No,
No, that's not
Newman's Own.
bizarre.
Wait,
Oh, yeah,
Newman's
you sent me
Own.
that Snapchat.
Yeah, and Newman's Own popcorn. And the power up in the game is there's like it looks like a slot machine, but you pull the lever and then you get a piece of popcorn, and it turns you into this like freaky Hulk-like version of yourself.
What the shit?
Which just allows you to punch and kick, and normally you have just this one single attack. And then, and also PC copies of the game apparently came with they came with Newman's Own popcorn, and it sounds like it was microwavable, and that's just something that's sort of magical.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. Well, you're playing it and you're like, huh, that doesn't look cartoony. Like it's the most cartoony looking game. It's super bright and colorful. The game feels like a fever dream, and not necessarily in a bad way. It's truly unique. It's not rated particularly well. I think it has like a 5 out of 10. But as far as bad games go, it's a good bad game. It's very strange. I prefer it to Rayman 2. Because it's just so much weird stuff. All the puzzles were really weird too. The like, if you just try to just rush in and just solve it, or like if you think about it and then just try something, you usually get it wrong. But if you're like, what would be the stupidest answer, and you just try it, you're like, that was it. Wow. Like almost every single puzzle. I was like, what's the dumbest answer it could possibly be? Oh, that's it. Shockingly consistently. It was like that. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. It was a strange experience. Oh, I guess the other thing is I'd never played it until, I'm gonna say, when did I boot it up? The first time I booted it up was this Tuesday, and I had seen pictures of I'd seen its box in Toys R Us when I was a kid, and all these years, I had this image of what this game would actually be like, and this idea of how it would play. Not even remotely similar. Like, it looks almost like a fighting game or something, just with how intense the cover is. And it's not at all. It's not even. Yeah, it's just this weird ass trip. Yeah.
Nice. Anyone else?
Another game I played, I only played it for like 2 days, and I haven't gone back to it, but I actually do want to go back to it, is Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. Has anyone heard of that game?
Whoa,
I've seen
hold on.
people.
I've seen
I have.
Getting over it.
It looks like
Oh, okay. I've seen this.
stupid and amazing at the same time.
It is honestly very infuriating, but when you get any kind of success, you feel so good because it's so fucking hard and infuriating. So there's this weird disconnect of the reason you keep playing is that success feels amazing, but everything else sucks.
Speaking of sucking, I played some DayZ.
Oh
The
my
standalone
God.
edition,
Yeah.
has it
Holy
changed
Lord.
at all?
No, it is worse. now,
It's worse?
actually. They somehow managed to make it worse. Or
How-
maybe it's just my perspective of it because I haven't played it for a very long time. And I came back and I'm like, wait, this
Oh
is
my
garbage.
That's wow.
Might as well play the mod, man.
So is that game ever gonna go to beta?
I mean, I was reading the subreddit and they were like, "Oh, version 0.65 is coming out. Maybe this will get people to come back to my favorite game." And I'm like, "You
This is a
poor
garbage.
son of a bitch."
No, and like especially with PUBG out now, PUBG took everyone who probably was gonna play, or not everyone. They're different games, but a lot of people who would be playing DayZ probably went over to PUBG.
And everybody who was playing PUBG went over to Fortnite. Have been also playing some Fortnite. It's a fun game. I'm garbage at it.
What were you gonna say before, Marcus?
With PUBG, the thing is, PUBG offered all the excitement of DayZ, all the most fun parts of DayZ, but concentrated and without all the dumb stuff like worrying about sodas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt about it. That's why I really like PUBG.
Because they made zombies so fucking garbage, so the only threat was other people.
Yeah. Except for the compared to DayZ, PUBG has the best matchmaking and the best networking ever.
Oh, me and Mitch also played some. We played some PUBG, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we
Like-
played the war game mode.
And it was garbage.
Yeah, the war game mode was really bad.
It still
What is that?
has a bunch of problems with like your friends showing up as being offline
Oh
when
my
you're trying to matchmake with your
We-
friends.
Wait. I invited him. I said, "Hey, let's go play the war game mode that's on this week. It sounds interesting." We both get on. We spend almost 30 minutes or more trying to get connected to each other to the point where like I think I'm done. If we can't do this, I'm just not even gonna try anymore. So we had gotten to the point where we literally like we're done. We're not gonna do it. And then
What's-
somehow we got connected.
What's the war game mode?
The war game mode is
You got
three
like teams of
10
yeah.
and a very tight small circle. So
Okay, I
and
see
then
what you're
it
saying.
changes.
Okay.
Whereas it so like when we played, we only did 2 matches, and one match was at the military base, and one match was at prison. And the one at prison was just god awful. Oh my god, that was so bad because everyone just kept like how it works is that the plane would fly over the space and you just jump out right away and just dive straight to the ground, and you
Yep.
can land way faster because they want you to get in the game quicker. But because prison is like there's like the buildings, but then the circle what didn't come inside of the cliff edge, so everyone just landed on the top of the cliff and shot anyone down below, and then there was just a war at the top of the cliff. So it was no fun. It was not fun at all.
Yeah, that war game mode, it just seemed pretty much like people knew all the good spots to go to. So here it's just a constant fight for that.
Yep, that's
So,
like
like,
when we
half
played
the
the other
map-
map, same thing.
So pretty much like most of the maps, none of the places being used at all except for the spots that are high priority.
Yep, that's exactly how I
was-
played.
Was there no places like in the fucking biggest cities?
I only played 2 games, and so we only played prison and military base. I'm sure there were other places in like Pachinki or other cities like that, but I didn't play any of those.
You quite a few names.
I played only 2. There
Oh,
was
you
one-
only played 2? Okay.
Yeah, one in the mountain and then one in the city. The mountain one was stupid as hell.
Oh, so you did. It's the city.
Huh?
So you did play in the city.
No, just the prison.
Why'd you say city?
I thought I said mountain. I'm sorry, I
You,
fucked up.
you said mountain and city.
I messed up then.
I thought you played at the military base too, didn't you?
No.
Or
After
was that different game mode?
Oh no, I did. Yeah, I did. That's right. I did
Yeah, I
play
totally
think, 2
remember you
matches.
playing there. I didn't play. I didn't see you play anywhere else.
Like I think it's cool that PUBG's doing special game modes and they're taking something from Fortnite, but that one in particular was not fun.
Mm.
And I heard that I don't know if they've done other ones, or I don't know what other ones they did. They did a flare one once, but apparently the flare one wasn't good either because the only thing special about it was if you got a flare, but no one was getting flares because there weren't very many of them.
Nice.
But like if you had a flare, you could like call in your own personal supply drop. Something like that. I don't know.
They
I-
had a. You can keep going.
No, I don't have anything else to say.
Oh, they did a shotgun one, all shotguns only. That was interesting
That one would be fun to play. I think that'd be very different.
because pretty much it's
force
just.
close quarter combat.
Well, I mean, everyone still shoots it. Like if you see someone across the map, people just start shooting at you because it's like, well, we want to kill each other, so let's make it so you know where we are, and they just start shooting like crazy. I mean, like any person I saw, I just shot at because I'm like, well, one of the pellets might hit them.
Yeah, really. Your chances of hitting with a shotgun's pretty low, so might as well just make them aware so you can get closer together.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. Otherwise, though, I haven't really played much PUBG other than that one thing. Not even because I just haven't liked it. I'm sure I'll go back and play more, but I just had other games and I don't have much time. And I also think I burnt myself out too.
Yeah, I feel pretty burnt out. Like I've uninstalled it a long time ago. Just don't really care about going back because they're slow as fuck for how big their team is. Kind of feels like DayZ. Their popularity
Well-
was huge, and then they like was cranking out shit in the mod, and then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do standalone."
They're
And
definitely ramping it up more, but they're slow to ramp it up because like the third map's coming
Well-
out relatively soon, and the third
really.
map looks good.
Well, yeah, they have to fucking compete to Fortnite because Fortnite just exploded and are.
But that's a good thing.
cranking out
Honestly, I personally don't like Fortnite. I tried it; it's not for me. But I think it's really good that Fortnite came out because it's put a fire under PUBG's ass. It's like, hey, we actually need to compete now. We can't just be this shitty game because if we want to have people continue to play our game, we need to actually get a lot more updates and stuff.
We have to update the UI now? Fuck.
Oh man, we actually have to improve our console part. Shit. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Come to think of it, I haven't played either of them since they both came out with mobile game versions, and I was just like, I guess no more.
I was surprised that both of them have mobile game versions, but it's crazy what people play on mobile phones nowadays.
Right.
I would never play either of those games on my phone.
I think you're only playing against other mobile players or bots, so it's not like you're gonna have to go against someone on a PC.
Oh, like for me, it's not about playing against PC players. It's just like, why would you want to play a game like that?
Oh yeah, no, I'm on that page with you.
I just don't really understand
Very off-put.
most phone mobile games in general because they don't feel, unless it's specifically like built with good controls. Most controls on phones suck, and then most games because of that suck. Like,
Yeah.
unless it's like a touch only game, which there are plenty of really good touch only games like puzzle games and stuff. But for me personally, I just don't really play any games on my phone. I just don't find it that interesting. Oh, another game I got was Mario and Rabbids Battle Kingdom.
Yeah,
I haven't put a ton of time into it, but the little bit I've played is really fun, and the multiplayer is very, very fun. I
Nice.
wish that the multiplayer actually had online multiplayer. It's only local though.
Better or worse than XCOM?
It's different than XCOM. I was actually surprised. Like when I got it, I thought that I wasn't sure how interested I'd be in it because I thought it'd just be a dumbed down version of XCOM. But it plays really well, and it's just very different than XCOM. Like it's kind of in that same category, but there's a lot more depth within the game than I thought there'd be, and there's a lot of cool stuff. I haven't gotten very far in the story, but the local co-op games I played against Carly and Tyler were a lot of fun, and there's a lot of strategy and depth involved.
The only thing I know about it is that I saw Luigi dab in a trailer.
I did not know that he did that.
So it's therefore the greatest game ever.
Oh, I thought you were gonna.
10
Say,
out of
I thought
10.
Mitch was gonna say he rescinds his recommendation.
Have you you have that game, right, Marcus?
Yeah.
Have you finished the story mode?
I think I'm like 60 or 70% of the way done. I just sort of want to take a break. I like marathon through it.
I've only
a
killed
couple weeks ago.
the first boss, the fiery piranha flower. That's the only thing. That's as far as I got.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Okay. So the game gets a lot more difficult. It really ramps up after that.
Well, I'm good. I'm glad because up until that boss, everything was so easy. Like
Oh, yeah.
boringly easy.
No, I agree. I remember that. I was like, the first area took me a couple hours because I was like, I really almost didn't want to, because it was just like, okay, like for the first 15 or 20 minutes, it was like, okay, sure, and then at some point you're just like, oh my god, please tell me the whole game isn't going to be like this. Then you leave, and eventually, when you, that fight was like, oh, it was like, is this a fluke? And then after it gets a lot more interesting. It has weird objectives, and objectives that are like that seem normal but are actually crushingly brutal.
I'm looking forward to playing more because up until that boss, like I liked that boss fight because up until that boss fight, I had never lost a character, and then in that boss fight, I lost one and almost lost another, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is actually challenging now. Like this is good. This is what I wanted. Because I didn't think that the game was gonna get challenging, and I was really upset because I was like, this isn't gonna be any fun if it continues to stay this easy.
Yeah. I'd say the last I played, I think I there were a couple matches where it was like I knew I had screwed up a little bit, and I was like, okay, and I made the choice to sacrifice one of the people just because it was like it would guarantee a victory, but I will have to lose one unless I want to go back and then try to play it safe. And it was just like, nope, I want to plow through. Let's finish this level. Well, then they have the turn timers too, sort of.
They add turn timers eventually.
Well, they're not solid. They're always there. They're just really easy early on. It's like they're just on what score you get, basically.
Oh, okay.
You know, if you do it faster, you get more points. But if you get more money, you can upgrade your stuff better. So
Yeah, exactly.
it's worth making sure you get some bonus. Because yeah, all the upgraded weapons have just straight up buffs, so they're worth using. I think the first ones are the only ones that are like there's the standard weapons, and then all of the variety or all the upgraded weapons are just about the same level. It's just what types of bonuses they have. But yeah.
I I haven't played the game, but I've seen my sister-in-law play it, and I liked some of the puzzles that they had. Some of them really like racked your brain and made you sit there and think about it. So I know that like there were 3 of us just sitting down, like how the fuck do you solve this puzzle? So I have no idea how far she was through the game. So I don't know how many puzzles you've played.
I mean, so far the hardest puzzles I've come across are just when they have a very very strange objectives in some of the missions, and it's like your goal isn't to kill the enemies. It's like you have to distract some of them because it's you have a straight shot, but you just have to get one of your people alive to the end of this area. But there's a bunch of these super tough guys, and it's just like, well, you can't possibly fight them all. And it was figuring out how to do that because it's just like it was a war of attrition. And it was like that one I had to restart like 4 or 5 times because it was like, okay, I have to just plan out a path and what I'm gonna do, but no, I mean I hadn't come across any of the puzzles that were really like actually puzzles yet.
The puzzles I've seen was like you have to like move like this block from point A to point B, but like when you touch the block, it like goes all the way across until like it hits something. So then they have a whole bunch of scenarios that will block the block, and like it's just you have to do it in a correct order.
Is that during a fight?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say, oh my god.
That would be nuts. No, it was in between fights.
Okay. I don't think I must not be that far.
You guys are making me want to play this game more because I haven't seen like any of this stuff.
Yeah, she really loves it, so she was probably really far when I saw that.
Yeah, it's a good game to play when I'm rendering stuff. It's like, since it's mostly turn-based, it's like, I hit render, pull out the game, and play it, and then the render's done. Put the switch back down and go back to working on homework.
Yeah, other than that, don't know much about it. Does anyone else have any other games?
I do.
Rainbow Six Siege.
We've already talked about that.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about it. So
I've got one more game, unless anybody else does.
I have one more as well.
I have one more.
I've got 3 more, but I don't have much to say about 2 of them.
I've got 10 more.
Cool.
Don't listen to him.
0.
Well, Zach, do you want to go?
Sure. Probably won't take too long because I don't know. I saw that Dawn of War 2 was pretty heavily discounted, so I got it because I kind of like RTSs, and it's a fun game. I like the Warhammer 40k universe, and I'm reading one of the books right now. And it's an interesting RTS because it's not so much about base building; it's more about like your squad of heroes that you like upgrade as you go along, and you level your guys up, and they get more abilities, and they get better weapons and armor, and you get to choose like who you bring on your missions, and it's a fun game. The campaign is set up pretty interesting. I got that and the expansion. I beat the campaign for the main game, and I've played like 1 or 2 missions in the expansion, but I kind of got burned out playing the first campaign. It's fun. The difficulty gets a little bit weird towards the end of the campaign. I had to bullshit my way through a couple of insanely hard levels that were like achievements to beat those levels because you had to beat like a god of war that was summoned by these guys, and both of them were just really hard, so I kind of bullshitted both of them. I just because none of your people can actually die, they only get downed, and if you have one person left over, you can like get them up. So I have this one person that I've been upgrading a very specific way so that he's able to instantly pick up people instead of like it taking time, and he can also go invisible. So I just have everybody else go in, do a bunch of damage, all die, and then he just goes in and revives all of them, and then just keep doing that until
That's pretty cool.
they're dead. Yeah, it took forever and it was really annoying.
It's an RTS, right? Or
Yeah, it is. It's kind of an RTS RPG
sure.
with small squads, and it's not really like other RTSs. It's not so much focused on base building, just like capturing points. And yeah, if you like it's kind of dated.
Oh shit, I do have
But-
that game.
I've been having
I only played 10 minutes of it though.
fun with it. I like the 40k universe. And yeah, I think it's worth getting. It was like $7 for that and the expansion, so I think I got my money's worth out of it.
Yeah, good old RTSs. Slowly dying.
Yep. I got it because I heard about Dawn of War 3, and I heard that was kind of a disappointment.
Nate, do you have any games to talk about?
I was gonna say, since we just talked about the Warhammer universe, I've been playing a little bit of the Total War Warhammer, the fantasy one, the second one. But yeah, I don't know. I like it. It's fun.
Good discussion.
Yep. The Norska update's coming out on late May, they say. That'll be great. Yeah, I feel like they do a pretty good job with the balancing in the game.
Have you guys played the like Total War games or like the Warhammer ones?
I've played Total War. Wait, maybe not. I'm trying to remember. If I look this up.
I was gonna say yes, but then I remember it's actually Age of Empires 2, and I always think Total War 2, and I'm like, they're not even
They're
stop.
not even
Okay.
like
Oh,
it's like a mixture of Civilization and then just giant ass scale battles when you actually like pit units together.
yeah. The only one I've played is Rome Total War. like the 2004.
Yeah, I think I've played that too. I've also played some other games
It's a
like
good Rome Total War.
Sparta was kind of like that.
Yeah, it's dope. I love controlling the because it's all part of like the Warhammer universe, like all fantasy type shit. So
Yeah, I've seen
any
people
sort
play
of
it. It's got
race-
like the Skaven and stuff.
Yeah, I loved playing as the rats. Oh my gosh, but they're so weak that you have to play with a fuckload. Every time you want to attack someone. But I love like controlling like 20 units, which each unit would have like 30 or 40 people in that unit, and then just commanding them all to do like tactics like running through the jungles, flanking everywhere. We're having like the big units, like these abominations or dragons or some shit.
Yeah, that's one thing that I like the most about it, is that it added in the because like all the other Total War games, it's all based off of historical things. And here, this one, it's like we're gonna throw fantasy in there. Let's see how good it goes. And like they did a great job balancing the monster units and all that. So it's really fun. And then here they have a 4-person free for all mode,
Oh my
which that was fun when we were playing that.
Yeah. Four people having 20 unit cards.
Up to 20 because you have to spend points too.
Oh yeah. Because balance wise.
Yeah.
And so it could be a clusterfuck and just super slow at the beginning sometimes, depending on your computer.
And depending on who wants to engage in battle.
And you just like have a 4-way battle between like these 4 giant armies. It's just super fun.
Sounds like it'd be fun.
Yeah, sounds fun. I've been meaning to pick that up. If it's ever on sale, I will definitely consider getting it. How many of you got Planetary Annihilation when it was on sale?
Ooh, maybe.
I bought it a
Check.
long time ago when I think it was still in beta. Fucking hate it.
Oh, really?
It's because like when I first bought it, I recently came out of StarCraft, so everything was super fast paced and everything. And then one of my friends who I played a lot of StarCraft with, like he's like, "Get this game, Planetary Annihilation," and yeah, I just didn't really like the controls of how you can like move around like the world, and it seemed pretty slow. And
I really liked the game, but I definitely I got it during beta and played a bunch during beta, and then a little bit more in full release, and I enjoyed it, but I was never good enough to really get into it, which made me sad. Like, because I'd go in, I would just lose so often on online multiplayer. So that's part of the reason I stopped playing. It's just that it was really hard, but it was fun.
yeah, it was so different compared to me. Like just felt like a downgrade from what I was playing. Cool concept and all that. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, the base version is mostly negative, and then the Titans version is is very positive.
Oh, really? The Titans versions? I've never played the Titans version.
The Titans
Because-
version is pretty fun. I like it.
What's the difference?
I believe there's I'm not sure how many more there's more types of stuff that you can build. There's more unit types. And there are these giant like Titan units that you can build that are pretty cool.
They make this. Is this like a DLC for the first game, or is this a totally separate game?
It's weird. I think they ran out of money or something, so then they made it that, and then
Because it looks like the exact same game, but with a few extra
essentially
things.
is the exact same game with a few add-ons.
Yeah.
It's basically a glorified expansion.
On
But
the
it's
Steam
just
page,
not
I
sold as
see
an
I see upgrade to Titans edition from Planetary Annihilation edition, and that's like
okay.
$13, $13.59.
Oh, it's only 13 to upgrade. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it right here now.
It's a
Which-
weird unit price.
Yes.
So then, I guess if you're upgrading, I guess it is kind of DLC then.
Yeah. So it probably was like they meant the Titans version was meant to be the base version, but they couldn't get it there in time.
Well, yeah, it's because they were a Kickstarter and they were like under a lot of pressure, and they kind of ran out of money eventually. Yeah, I was one of the I kickstarted them when they first. That was the first thing I ever kickstarted.
I was sad when I first played it, and their whole thing was like, it's planetary annihilation. You blow up the planets. You go onto this moon and just launch the moon into the planet and win. And when I first got it, you couldn't do that.
You could do that at launch. It just was really hard.
Oh,
It was
well.
not easy, and you couldn't do it to all planets. You could only do it to small moons.
I don't know, for some reason I couldn't figure it out, I guess.
I never. I think in some games where like me and Zach played against each other, we might have gotten that successfully to happen, but never in online multiplayer did I ever get even close to doing that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool now. You can turn the giant metal planets into like death lasers, and
Can you like blow up other planets then with that?
yeah,
That's pretty sweet. I really loved the idea of being able to go between multiple planets, and like I think everything with the concept was really great, but it just didn't stick with me for whatever reason.
Is it just me, or does it? It feels like there's oversaturation of RTSs right now.
What?
I don't know. I just
It's the complete opposite. There's
I think that's just that RTSs are relatively niche in that, not like niche overall, but like there's so many niches within RTSs.
I guess.
Planetary Annihilation was a couple of years ago too, so
Oh, fair enough. Well, I guess people have just been bringing up them a lot. I guess Tooth and Tail wasn't received well.
I thought that was received pretty well.
Oh, never mind. It's just sorry. Recent reviews are mixed.
Oh,
Overall,
okay.
it's very positive.
But that's like a different take on RTS, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's one of the games I wanted to suggest for our game discussions.
Yeah, I'd be interested. I'll pick it up.
Other than Tooth and Tail, I haven't seen any other game that's RTS. And Tooth and Tail is like casual as fuck RTS.
Trying to figure out why I was thinking. Oh, I'm dumb. It's because there was the Humble Bundle about it, and I was like, "Urgh."
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. There was an RTS Humble Bundle or a strategy game Humble Bundle or something.
I'll be right back.
Right. Well, the last couple games that I've been playing is called Danganronpa 1 and 2. I've been playing. Have you guys heard of it before?
Danganronpa?
Yeah.
The one with the teddy bear and the murders in the. Yeah, I watched the anime.
Yeah, I watched. That was like one of the first animes that I've watched. So when I was playing the first game that was based off of it, like I could not remember much of it.
I can't remember how to spell it.
Playing like more things. Danganronpa. Danganronpa. So yeah, the more I was playing like the first game, I'm like, oh yeah, this is bringing back memories and remembering the anime now, but like still wasn't enough for me to like spoil the game because I couldn't really remember shit because it was so long ago that I watched it. But yeah, pretty much the game is like a visual novel. It's mostly reading, and then murders will happen throughout, and you like have to solve these murders. And they did a really good job on a lot of them. Like sometimes I'm like, oh my god, it's so obvious who the murderer is, and then as the trial that you're playing is unfolding, all of a sudden like it's not the person I thought it was, and all of a sudden I'm like, holy fuck, I actually have no idea who the murderer is. And did that a couple times throughout the game, which was cool. I'm playing the second one right now. I'm nowhere close to being even halfway through it. But I like all their different characters and their personalities and just the uniqueness of all the murders that have been happening.
What game are you guys talking about?
I'm talking about Danganronpa.
Oh, okay. I think you've mentioned that before, but I don't know anything about it.
It's pretty much like about high school students who get all together to like start their high school life, but then like crazy shit happens that they're kind of forced to like murder each other, and you have to solve the murders or everybody will die. And if the person who gets away with the murder gets to like go free. And it's just really clever based. It's pretty much like a visual novel. You mostly read until like murders happen, then you have to like find all the evidence, and then as you play the trials, you have to like contradict other people's shit. Yeah, just really unique and fun. Really long games too. I think the first game took me almost like 40 hours.
Wow.
Oh, one last game I played was Divinity Original Sin 2. I was talking about it with Nick a little bit yesterday. And it's a fun game. I had a couple of frustrating parts just with like, I don't really know what to do in this quest, but it's a fun game. I liked the first one. I like this one. I'm glad this one has 4-player co-op.
It's definitely a game I kind of want to get, because it totally seems like D&D, but video game form.
Oh yeah, it really is.
Just haven't gotten into it yet, though. Anyone else have anything?
I'll just power through. Well, I have 3. One is just I have finally finished Inside. I think you guys did a full game discussion on it.
Inside? Nope.
Nope, we did not do one on
I thought
Inside.
there was
I
one.
wish we had. I
We
do
should
like.
have.
It was-
Inside's a good game.
It was one of the games that almost won.
It was one that for the first 2/3 of it, I did not like it at all. I hated it. It was just like, or I shouldn't say I hated it. I didn't see the reason to play it because I was like, this feels like a not as good Limbo. Like, just story-wise, that's how it felt to me. Or not story, gameplay-wise, I was like, this just feels like not as good as Limbo. I know, but and then my mind started to change near the end, and I'm very happy I finished it.
I love the visuals and the atmosphere and the world building in the game, and the end is really cool. Like, I really like all of the. I just like the build up over the course of the game, and I like how they weren't afraid to put out a short 4 to 6 hour experience and just really sell that 4 to 6 hour experience.
Yeah. I need to go back
That never
and
happens.
get all the collectibles. I thought it was.
Yeah, you guys
really
gotta go for
good game.
the extra ending. The extra ending's also really cool.
I'm not the type of person that's willing to power through for the extra ending. That's what YouTube is for me.
Did you watch the extra ending?
Yeah,
on
of course.
YouTube?
I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna play through this. If I played through it to find the extra stuff, I'd do it using a guide, and that would defeat the point. So, you know, in the end, I don't feel bad about it. I used to go for like on PlayStation. I used to go for all the platinums, and at some point I stopped doing that when I was like, I have a laundry list of games that I'd love to play, and instead I'm spending 80 hours playing the Sly Cooper games, and it's like, this isn't worth it.
Yeah. I just like feel like when achievements and all that stuff first came out, I felt like they were a great thing for that generation, and now I feel like achievements are pretty much this thing I don't ever care about anymore at all.
I care about the achievements if I care about the game.
Yeah, I
Like-
could agree with that.
There have been some games that I've like gone out of the way of getting the achievements because I like the style of the game. Like I really liked the style for Darkest Dungeon and how they named their achievements, so I tried to get as many of those as I could.
I think that's definitely dependent on the person. I have never once given a fuck about achievements.
See, that sounds about right.
So yeah,
See, like when I was
I
only
was
on
love,
Xbox, I cared, but
yeah,
on
see,
Steam,
that's what I was just about to say. Like, I love the people who are like on Xbox, like, I have like 30,000 achievement points or some shit like that. And I'm like,
Oh no, if you do that, you're
okay.
a little bitch. But
I think the thing is that like when achievements first came out on Xbox, there was nothing else like it. It was brand new, and like the idea of it like having a representation of your goals, like, oh, I did all these hard challenges, look at my profile, that was cool. But then slowly every console had achievements, every single game has achievements, then it kind of just lost its value over time.
Yeah. They became the current version of a collectathon. It's just with any game.
Yeah.
The problem is instead of them being skill or challenge based, they're now just exhaustive. They're stupid things. So, for example, in the Sly Cooper games, I remember it was in the first one. It was open your map screen in every single room in the entire game. What? And that one's, guess what you have to do? You're not like, oh, I remember. Like, you just have to do it. You look up a guide and you're like, these are the ones that are classified as separate rooms. Go into it,
Oh my
double tap
god,
that button, and then leave.
what the fuck kind of achievement is that?
Exactly. Like when they're dog shit, when it's just like, oh, because they're not challenging. But the thing is, unlike on Xbox, where it's 1,000 is the total.
Yeah.
On PlayStation, it's like you can have as many as you want. You won't get platinum until you have them all. Like, that's how it is.
So I think that was something that was nice about the 1,000 cap, is that like the developers got to choose like how much each achievement was worth, and so you could have a ton of achievements, but a bunch that are worth very little, and a few that are worth a lot, or make them all the same, or just I think that made them seem more interesting that way. And I do feel like achievements used to be challenging, and now they're, like you said, they're just mostly
tedious.
They're just either tedious or you just get them all by playing the game.
Yeah, and that defeats the point.
You completed chapter 1 of the story. Achievement. Like, oh, okay.
Like that was almost always there, like from the beginning, but it was only usually like maybe 10% of the achievements. But now I feel like that's usually like 60 to 70% of the achievements.
And
then
which
the
one of
last
those just shouldn't be
30%.
achievements.
Exactly.
They should only be like the 3 or 4 other ones. Yeah.
I love the ironic achievements. I don't remember what games have done this, but I've totally played the game.
Oh yeah,
where you just start the game. It's like, congrats, you started the game. Achievement.
There were
I
some
like
of the Homer Simpson ones where you got an achievement for pressing A as soon as the game started.
there was this one achievement for Owlboy where there's like the first part where you pick somebody up. If you immediately throw them off a cliff, you get an achievement.
Yeah, I did that.
Funny.
I remember that.
That's
They probably did that
hilarious.
just because it was a really natural thing to do. Just be like, I wonder if I can throw him.
I did it by accident because I didn't know the buttons, so I just like was like, oh, I press A, and it was like, oh, threw him off a cliff. Whoops.
Yeah. Well, Marcus, do you have any more?
Oh yeah. This one I don't want to get into, but I'll just Slave Zero. You play as a giant robot. It's a first-person shooter. I think it's a lot of fun, but to play it, it's mandatory to play it on the hardest difficulty because it's not that hard. And also, it has a not quick save, but it treats saving like quick save. Like escape, save, you click your file, save, and you're just back in the game already. And there's no downtime. It's just like you just do that. So you want to save between every fight. It really, like, on hard, it's really twitchy. You get weapons that kill things in one hit, and it's a lot of fun up until the last level where things are stupid because there are compatibility issues, and there's a type of enemy where if you land a hit on them, it will crash your game.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, it came out in 1999, so you have to give it cut them some slack.
Okay.
It's almost 20 years old.
Reminds me of the Nidhogg glitch at
Oh yeah,
GDC, where if you use the bow, the game crashes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was funny. Oh, it's one step worse than that. So those are all. There's only I think 4 of that type of enemy in the entire game. So it's like, and they're not ones that are required to be killed, so you can get past all of them. The problem is the game also you get the same type of situation with the final boss, so you can't fight the final boss. You shoot something in the final boss, game crash.
Oh my god.
Don't worry though, I can tell you when you get to the area where you shoot an enemy and the game crashes. Oh, actually, no, sorry. There's 2 of them in the middle of the game, but if you kill them from long range, it won't crash it, which is stupid, but whatever. You have exclusively long range weapons. But yeah, the very last level of the game isn't worth playing. It's boring. It's garbage. All the enemies are spiders with machine guns on their backs, which sounds cool, but it's not. It's really dumb, and they're not fun to fight. And the final boss is the most boring thing ever. I played it on Dreamcast back in the day, and it's just tedious. Like, it's not difficult. It's this giant pillar, and you strafe and you shoot at him until he starts shooting, and then you hide behind the pillar, and he continues to shoot for like 15 seconds. And then he has a cooldown period. So then you walk out and shoot him a bunch, and then go. And it's just that. It's rinse and repeat. And the ending cutscene after that is like 8 seconds. It's him going, falls off a cliff, and they're like, "You are the future," and then it fades to black and credits.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, it's
I love those old games.
My god.
yeah. And then today and in the last few days, I've been trying to finish up Hyperlight Drifter. And if I had to describe it, I'd say it feels like a top-down version of Hollow Knight. Like, handles more like Hollow Knight, but is a top-down Legend of Zelda style, like the old
You gotta
Legend of
say
Zelda.
the opposite. Hollow Knight's like Hyperlight Drifter. Hyperlight Drifter came out first.
It doesn't matter. I'm not describing what they're based on. I'm saying what it feels like.
Oh, okay.
For comparison's sake.
For me, I've barely played any Hollow Knight. I've only played Hyperlight Drifter.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well, the thing with the landing hits charges up your bullets for your gun.
I really like that.
Yeah. The stupidest thing so far in the entire game was the 800 multi-dash challenge, which is garbage. So there's this timing where if you dash and then you press dash again, you can string them together. So you can just dodge, but there's a cooldown if you mess it up or if you stop. Like, there's a short cooldown before you can dash again. So for dodging, generally with bosses, you usually have to dash twice to get to guarantee your safety.
Yeah.
But there's this challenge where there's this like figure 8 room and there's pads that recharge your stamina, and you're supposed to dash around. And if you dash 800 times consecutively, or in one single burst, you unlock the a new set of clothes, like a new sword, a new droid or whatever the little robot is, and a new cape. And they make dashing more effective and use less stamina. Or I think it's dashing is easier to do. It widens the window because the window is really strict. I think it's the first 3 dashes you have 230 to 250 milliseconds between dashes. You have to hit that window. You have a 20 millisecond gap of time that you have to hit it. And then after the first 3, then it's closed to 205 to 230. And doing 800 of those in a row is impossible with a controller because you have to change the direction because you keep moving around. With the keyboard, you cheese it. Because you can aim where your pointer is, and the screen doesn't move in that game, so you just mash the space key. But you have to time it perfectly, and I just gave up on it and used a key macro thing, and just said loop 800 times, and then I walked away from my computer.
I can't believe you even did that.
You cheesy bastard.
Not the macro thing, just that you even went to go for that.
Yeah, the highest I got was I think 240, and that was without even doing the normal cheesing. That was with a controller. I got 240, and I was like, okay, fuck this. I'm just gonna cheese it, like, or just cheat, whatever, because it's very helpful for bosses.
That's like cheesing the game then.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
beat the
so
game
are
without
you-
that.
Well, I wanted it because
My-
I wanted it because the blue cape looks really cool. Yeah,
I-
perfect.
I really liked that game, but I was disappointed at the length. I thought the game would be longer than it was.
How long have you put into it?
Let's see,
I've been taking my time.
17 hours.
Oh, okay, I'm at 12 and I'm at the final boss. But I don't know. Looking back, I'm like, oh, I've only found half of the pieces in all the areas.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff you can go back and look for.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you can do New Game Plus as well. And I want to go back and play it again because I really enjoyed the game, but I just haven't had a chance. I just haven't gone back to it yet.
Yeah, I think it's a really. I love that they managed to make a game like this without having any dialogue, like any text.
I love the music for the game.
Yeah, I've listened to the playlist. It's on Spotify.
I actually own the soundtrack, so.
Oh, well, that's better.
This is actually another one of the games I actually kickstarted.
See, you have a better record than I do for kickstarting stuff.
I've kickstarted five games, and Hyperlight Drifter was good. Planetary Annihilation was good. Two games I backed like 4 years ago, and they're still not out yet. So we'll see if they ever come out and if they're good.
What games are those?
Ghost Song, I think. Let's see. It's supposed to be. It's a Metroidvania, in the style of like Dark Souls, like esque, with like the difficulty of it. I like the art style, and it's kind of got a Metroid / Dark Souls feel. And then I thought it was really cool, and I only put like $15 down for it, and I've just been waiting for it. And like, I'm not too worried about this one because he puts out updates still all the time, and it's just one guy doing the whole thing himself.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
So, and for me, it's just like eventually it'll come out and it looks good, and so I don't mind waiting. Like, I fucking gave him the money 4 years ago. At this point, it's gonna be free when I get it. Yeah. I don't remember what the other game was though. I have to go. I haven't used Kickstarter in forever.
Well, is everyone out of actual games?
I have one more I want to talk about, but I want to wait till last if no one else
Okay.
has anything.
The only other thing I was going to ask about was the two games I've really wanted to play and I just haven't had time. I haven't picked them up yet either. Or Slay the Spire and Into the Breach. They both, like, Slay the Spire apparently is doing quite well. It's overwhelmingly positive. And Into the Breach, it's very positive as well.
Never played either or heard of them.
Yeah, Slay the Spire.
Actually, I might have heard Into the Breach, but
Slay the Spire plays like a card game, but it's like a roguelike. So as you, I don't know that much about it because I haven't played it, but I've watched a bunch of people playing it. You effectively, as you don't level up, but you unlock new cards, and like for that single run, and then that's your move set, and it's and you know you have to draw from your deck, and you pick what actions you take, and you see how far you can get, and you earn new stuff, and when you die, and you lose everything, and it looks really interesting, and yeah, I can't say much else.
I looked it up. So I backed Ghost Song 4 years ago next month.
Damn.
And the other game I backed 4 years ago, come December, is Paradise Lost or First Contact, and you play as like a alien plant, and then like it's like a 2D side scroller pixel art game. And like I put $12 on that game, and $15 on Ghost Song. So like it's less than $30 that I've been waiting on, and they both look good, and they've both still been putting out updates. So eventually I'll get them. Can't believe it's been 4 years though.
Sounds just very low developers and just.
Yeah, I think like I said, Ghost Song is one guy, and Paradise Lost is 2 people.
Yeah,
So
like how long did the dude who made Stardew Valley was making that? Wasn't it like 7
that's a
years?
a long time.
Yeah, it's just himself doing everything.
Well, does anyone else have anything else to talk about? Because I have one I want to talk about.
Yeah. Zach, Nate, I have nothing.
I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm out.
Okay, I don't know what the last one I want to talk about was Destiny 2, because
Oh yeah, I did play that a little bit.
I played a little bit of it, and I want to talk about some of the changes that happened and some of the new stuff that's coming out in like a little less than 2 weeks.
I saw the newest trailer for their expansion.
Are you gonna re-download it for the DLC?
Fuck no.
No, but you already own the DLC.
No, I don't. I didn't buy the pack. I only bought the DLC individually.
Oh, are you sure?
$15.
Oh, okay.
And it looks the same as the shit, and I was so disappointed with the first DLC. Could not give a fuck.
Well, I'm gonna guess that it probably won't entice you.
If it's
I know
the same
for
old shit, same raid, different location on the same thing, and another.
I'm sure that's what the raid
grind.
lair is gonna be. The raid lair is probably gonna be on the ship again, somewhere else. That doesn't bother me personally, but I understand why other people it bothers them. But I wanted to bring up specifically because they had updated a bunch of stuff in March, and they brought back 6v6 and Iron Banner, and that was a lot of fun. And I really want them to bring 6v6 back, like all for everything.
Yeah, the rebalancing and the stuff and the 6v6 and just the in general stuff like getting your supers faster, like it felt a lot better.
Yeah, I did.
I hated the PvP when Destiny 2 came out.
Okay, so they like how much faster can you get it? Because I feel like you could only get the super like once per match.
You get supers 25% faster, and kills
They also have
increase
master
how
weapons
often
and
you
stuff,
get.
so you get like orbs on multi kills, so you get like
Yeah, the masterworks make a big difference.
you can generally get about 2 supers a match now.
Potentially more if you're doing really well.
Yeah,
Um,
but
it's still.
I normally don't do very well. Well, actually,
But-
I've been doing fairly well recently with Perfect Paradox now that they buffed shotguns, but yeah.
But definitely like the multiplayer in 6v6 feels a lot better, and they're still working on the balancing, so 6v6 isn't going to come out like entirely until they get more balancing, but they're going to stick with Iron Banner always being 6v6, which I think will be good. But I think the new DLC looks promising, and it doesn't like I don't really care if the campaign's going to be good or not, because it's either is or it isn't, and it's going to be short. That's not my thing. But a lot of the updates coming out and some of the new repeatable content looks like it'll be interesting. Like they're adding a like horde style mode on Mars when the Mars area comes out, and that looks like it could be pretty fun, and it's supposed to be challenging.
If I don't hear one get your ass to Mars joke when that comes out, I'm going to be disappointed.
And the thing I'm looking forward to most is they're updating and buffing tons of exotics, and Bungie's been releasing a bunch of gameplay clips of each exotics they've been buffing, and they look like exotics finally, and they look really fun. Like a lot of them have gotten big buffs, like really big buffs.
Oh, so they're like, oh yeah, this was supposed to be a sequel to Destiny 1.
We forgot.
We forgot.
I'm excited that there's gonna be a new expansion, and I'm happy there's gonna be new content, but I'm not like gonna overhype myself in any way.
They're
I'm just
so
happy
late
that
on
there's
this.
new stuff, and I don't have to pay. I bought the season pass, so it's not gonna cost me any money anyways. So
Yeah.
might as
Yeah, you already bought this.
yeah. So for me, it's just like I'm either going to enjoy it or I'm not, and I'm most likely going to enjoy it. So, and I think a lot of the changes will be good. And personally, like I want everything to be good because I put so much fucking time in the first game. I want them to bring this game back to being like the first game, so I could play it all the time.
I'll play it with you when that drops.
Yeah, same.
They should honestly just put the games together, like in the end or something.
That would be
Like
so
bring
much
back
work.
the Destiny 1 content and stuff.
Yeah, cause like they keep boasting it's such an MMO, even though it's not.
I know.
But
I
like,
don't know why they didn't do that. But
I just keep comparing it to 2004, 14 years ago, World of Warcraft first came out, and their raids they had a shitload, and each one is harder than the next, completely different areas. And then every time I see Destiny, it's just like this one shitty ass. Well, the first time you play, it's really fun, but then it's just the same shit every week, and it's just like, what the fuck?
though, to be fair to them with the number of raids, that's exactly how Destiny 1 was, because making a raid is not going to be, they're not going to be able to pump out content like that very often. If anything, they're actually doing it a lot better than they were doing Destiny 1 because we're getting raid layers. We didn't
like,
get anything like that before.
They don't even have to make it super complicated, right? Just make it super hard and shit.
But I think they can't just put out really hard content and expect it to be good. Like part of the reason it's really good is they put a lot of thought process into the encounters. And
I
have to
know,
make
they
sure that
just-
they're fun with 6 people.
Their raids being moderately complicated are like, I'd rather play through a really fucking tough raid than a frustratingly stupid raid with like lots of dumb shit I have to do. Like,
Well, it's just like
those components don't interest me. I'm like,
Well, yeah, I would agree that like the Callus raid is very different than like all the old raids. It plays much more like a puzzle, like a group puzzle versus like a raid. Like the final battle plays more like old raids, but like the raid layers are, or at least the raid layer we've played was much more like what I would have expected out of the raid. But we'll see what the next one's like.
I just don't understand what's so hard for them to just do more. That just one.
because they're already working on Destiny 3.
Yeah.
They probably are, actually.
They are. There's
they're probably-
100% sure they are.
They're probably intentionally making stuff still shitty. Like, yeah, they're improving some stuff, but they're probably intentionally making stuff like still shitty. Like,
So people won't feel
So
bad
then-
when they abandon 2 for 3.
yeah, and then like 3, they'll be like, "Oh, we listened to everything. We improved everything. It's gonna be
No,
back
see,
like
I
Destiny
don't think
1."
they're
And
gonna do that.
everyone will bite that shit.
It's way
You
too
will.
late.
You will bite that, Mitch. I
I
know.
Hey, I'm not denying that 100%. I will be getting Destiny 3 because I love Destiny 2. Like Destiny 2 has problems, but I still play the game. Like I still really like Destiny 2. And I love Destiny 1
Crazy.
and I will get Destiny 3. But I don't think overall that their community would do good, like that their community wouldn't transition over. If they don't fix Destiny 2, community's not going to move to Destiny 3.
Well, they will if they go, well, Destiny 3 does what we should have done with 2, where it has everything from Destiny 1
Well, wait.
and
Okay,
more.
keep on. Sorry. Well,
I
why did
just-
people transition from 1 to 2 when 2 was so bad?
because a bunch of people wanted to transition to PC. That's the real thing. Like, I dropped the console version as soon as Destiny.
Even though Destiny 1's apparently way better.
Yes.
The thing is we
Yes.
didn't know it was way better when we bought it.
Well, yeah, but then like, wouldn't you just be like, well, I'd rather just keep playing number 1?
Well,
The thing is, there's nothing left to do in number 1. If you've done it all, what's the point?
Well, haven't you already done everything in number 2?
Yeah, I don't play it that often. Like I randomly will jump on and play multiplayer sometimes, like during events. But like the
not
thing is
number one.
Destiny 2 is still a live game. Like that game is still
Well,
actively being developed, and new
actually,
stuff is going to come out.
That's an interesting,
One's dead.
interesting thing though. So I would say that personally, I thought Destiny 1's PvE stuff got better over time. I thought
Yeah.
the PvP got way worse over
Oh
time.
yes, I 100% agree with what you said.
I thought was a blast. It felt like Halo 3 to me in the first couple weeks.
The first
Yeah.
year, the multiplayer was really great,
And then it tanked.
and then they
They're
made
like,
a lot of changes, and then they continued to make it worse, and
Yep.
then that worseness transitioned straight into 2, where it got even worse.
Weren't they doing it because they were claiming that they were trying to make the game more competitive?
Yeah, well, that's like all of the changes in 2 were made to be more competitive, but it made the whole competitive community leave because it's not what the competitive community liked. Like the problem is that Destiny can't be competitive in an esports way like they want it to be because it's such a chaotic, broken game because
you
there's
can't
always
like
it's
you
not
can't
a
have
balanced
gear.
game.
Yeah,
Like-
it's not balanced. You can't have all this crazy gear that has have all these crazy stats and all these crazy weapons. Like that doesn't work in a balanced
And
environment.
that's part of the reason Destiny 2
It's
multiplayer
so
went
easy
badly.
though. It's so easy though to make it balanced. Just make a competitive part
That
where
has
everyone
separate
just like has like
or
it doesn't
WoW's
matter what the
competitive
fuck
style.
gear you bought. Like you get this gear for this class, and maybe just like a couple variants, and then
Yeah.
like you can only pick a select few like guns or some shit.
Yeah, I'd be
They're
totally
not
fine with
even
that.
trying. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they could still get away with. They could have that, and then they could have Iron Banner being the one where you have all your own shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and just like casual play that you have all your own shit.
Yeah.
It's just like their own competitive mode. You get this only selective shit.
That or how does the World of Warcraft's when they have their thing once a year or whenever it is where everyone like you create a loadout in a separate thing that's like you have all of the everything from all the items from the entire game at your disposal and you just like you make the build you want for that one competitive season.
I have no idea. Never seen that.
I haven't played it. I've heard people talk about it.
It's probably something newish. Ugh.
It was trying to make the PvP in World of Warcraft fair. So it was like, okay, well, everyone now has access to everything if you're in this one competitive league or whatever.
Yeah. Who knows, man? They don't care.
They definitely care.
No, they don't. Why would they make Destiny 2 so much worse?
I don't think they intended to make it worse. Why would you purposely make your game bad? That makes zero sense.
I think
I feel like you're a little too much fanboy right now.
No, I'm 100% serious. There is no incentive to make your game bad.
Well,
You
here's the
ruin
thing.
your community. You lose
Well,
the faith in your community.
Which game is better right now?
Well, neither.
It's not an answer.
No, you're not. Yeah,
They're the
you're,
same.
Well, no,
you're
but
bullshitting that, dude.
How can I say
You-
Destiny?
I
1
know
is better than
before
Destiny
you
2 if
said Destiny 1 is so
dead?
much better.
I like it was better.
Ignore the player base.
If you want me, are you saying like in their lifespan which is better, or are you saying if I went to play them right now which is better?
Yeah, you just don't
Pretend they're
matter
both
what's
dead. If
dead.
both of them were dead, which one would you rather play?
I would rather play Destiny 1 if they were both dead.
Okay.
But they're not both dead, and there's still new content and updates coming out for
Wait,
Destiny.
you just said Destiny 1 was dead, and now you're saying it's not dead.
No, I said
You
Destiny 2.
No, you just said they're both not dead. You literally just said that.
I said if they're both dead. That was my.
No. Mitch
I
just
definitely
said-
didn't say they're both not dead.
Hey,
they
Zach
both
Zach is recording this.
The ultimate
So-
derailment.
Oh no. Well, we'll find out eventually.
Oh.
Ooh, we got more containers.
But like,
All right.
my point
I
is,
feel like we could have a totally different game discussion off of this alone. So
I feel like
I think we should
All have very
absolutely
strong
wait
opinions
for
about
until
Destiny.
like a month after the most recent expansion, and then have another discussion about Destiny 2.
Yeah, I'd have a
I
mini
agree. I
discussion.
think that there'd be like we could have a good discussion about after the new expansion. There'll be a lot to talk about because there's gonna be a lot of new stuff and probably good stuff and bad stuff.
I think we should end it there because otherwise it'll just derail.
Yeah,
I've
and we've been going for like 2 hours.
2.5 hours about.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'll take us offline.